Hi, my name is Elliott, and today I'm going to be talking about the evolution of Best Dressed and her content. This is obviously based off of Smokey Glow Hannah's kind of video. She's done Emma Chamberlain, Tana, Gabby, and David Dobrik. I think I'll link those below. I found all those videos super interesting, so I thought I wanted to make my own video on one of my favorite YouTubers, Best Dressed. And yeah, with that, I'm just gonna get right into it. So Ashley is a 23-year-old YouTuber who lives in New York City, but is actually born and raised in Ellicott City, Maryland, which is like right near DC. And she started her YouTube channel in her senior year of high school, which is the fall of 2015, under the alias Model Citizen. But she ended up changing the name to Best Dressed at the end of her senior year because she won Best Dressed in high school. And it made more sense for her brand because her YouTube channel is mostly about like fashion and stuff. So she moved to Los Angeles not to become a YouTuber, but to go to UCLA Film School. Went there, graduated in March of 2019, which was a year and a quarter early, and then moved to New York City, where she is currently living. So I watched almost every single Best Dressed video, and that shit was hard. And Ashley, I think, is the only YouTuber I could do it for, because out of my like two other favorite YouTubers, I could not watch. It's very funny watching your old content because it's very like reminiscent of any like fashion beauty YouTuber. When you start on YouTube, you just try to copy everyone else. She very much is like the other girls at this time, because she's just doing like outfit of the week, like spring try on haul, like three Valentine's Day outfit ideas. Like it's very like all like fashion-y kind of based. She very much is not that comfortable in front of the camera and is just kind of like sticking strictly to fashion, but not really doing anything different than anyone else, which is why she like doesn't gain that many subscribers. What's so funny to show that like how much Ashley has grown is that in February of 2017, she goes to Philadelphia and then she's literally like,
actually not much of a good thrift shopper at all. I always get kind of bored of looking through the racks.
She got into fashion through her older sister forcing her to watch Project Runway, which I think is so funny. Also, this is just a weird me thing. You can really see how like each of her family members affected her. She has a mom and a dad and then an older sister. Her older sister really like gave her fashion aspect. Her dad is a professor at university or something, so it gave her real like studious, like I'm graduating a year and a quarter early from UCLA aspect. And then her mom is, I think, like a second wave feminist or something, and really in her later videos you can see a lot of her talking about feminism. So I don't know, you really like, I can really see like each family member's huge influence on her. And then even when she's posting very like sporadically. I think she didn't post at all the summer of 2016, which is actually the first quarter that she went to UCLA. But then on September 1st, 2017, she posts her first video that like starts her rise. She posts this video titled Huge Try On Thrift Haul on September 1st, 2017. That video actually got a lot of success. She went from like less than 1,000 to 25K subscribers over like a couple of days. And then after that, she posted a video essentially every week up until like the pandemic. The next interesting video that she posts, because I will say, when I was watching all of her old videos, like oh god, like I don't really subscribe to Ashley for the fashion. I subscribe to her for her. I'm not really into fashion, as you can tell by this super tight like Marshalls shirt. But all of her old videos were like super boring to watch for me personally. But then in the switch where I was like, oh, if I discovered her, then I would have subscribed to her, is she does a 50 facts about me, but she does it in a very like film schooly way. That kind of shows that I guess she's been in film school for over a year now, so you can kind of see like her film school vibes starting to I keep saying film school vibes. Her like film school like education proliferating in her videos a little bit. In that video, she says,
I want my life to be about more than fashion and beauty. I'm thinking of incorporating more kind of videos like this and short films and stuff. In the like 50 facts about me, she kind of really reveals a lot more about her personality, and that's also what people super responded to, because she's like a relatable like she's like a relatable like 20-something. I guess she was 19 at the time, but she's like a relatable like college student. I feel like Emma Chamberlain was like the 2018 like relatable teen. I feel like Best Dressed was like the like 2019 like relatable YouTuber. Ashley's more relatable to me because we're exactly the same age. I love Emma, but she's my little sister's age, so I can't fully relate to like being a white girl in the Bay Area. I mean, I'm also not a half Asian girl in Maryland, but I don't know, just a thing she'll talk about with like dating and stuff. I'm just like, oh my god, yes, like me. And in the fact 50 facts about me, a lot of things she says are very like relatable. Relatable has literally been the buzzword of fucking like YouTube since like
like Emma Chamberlain. Like literally, it's like Haley famous. She relatable. Like Ashley, she relatable. Like everyone needs to be fucking relatable. The 50 Facts About Me video shows like a shift. And then even after that 50 Facts About Me video, starting in 2018, she starts talking a little bit more quicker. So you got to see more of the like 2021 Ashley that we all know and love. Or most of us. I'll get into the scandals. She's posting more regularly. She's still doing mostly fashion content. She posts, one of my favorite videos that she posted in this time was a room tour video, but room tours are so boring and I never watch them, but I only watch, like I wouldn't have watched if I wasn't doing research for this thing, but like I actually laughed out loud watching hers, and I don't like laugh out loud at that many things, but like it was funny. She's funny. So that's really just showing her glow up. Like she started more chit-chatty videos. She's being more vulnerable. She's like being funny. She's like relatable. And in this room tour video, you really see her personality, and she's just being more vulnerable in front of the camera, which people are really responding to, which is contributing to like growing in subscribers like very, very quickly. The next video that she does that I think is interesting is she does this body image video that is super like relatable because she's talking, being more vulnerable in the camera. She's talking about her like body image issues, about like wanting to like lose weight, be skinny, like all this kind of stuff, which just shows again how her vulnerability in front of the camera people are really responding to, and it's contributing to her meteoric rise and stardom. So then throughout the rest of her winter and spring quarter, she's just uploading consistently, starting to go more out there and not just doing fashion vlogs. In about May of 2018, she had about 80K subscribers. She doesn't really get any internships, and then she just decides, you know what, fuck all these internships, fuck the sorry girls, like I'm gonna just be a YouTuber, like let's go YouTube hard 2018, like we out here, like we social media influencer. She also met Damon in May of 2018, who like super encouraged her. So we can all thank Damon for Best Dressed being the YouTuber we know and love today. And actually, 2 out of 3 of my favorite videos that she has made were made at this time. She did this video called What to Wear on a First Date, but again, just like how the room tour where it like wasn't like the other girls, the What to Wear on a First Date, it isn't just her being like, oh, you can wear this or you can wear this. She does this whole kind of like film schooly vibes. She does this video where she's deciding what to wear and keeps trying on different outfits, but is talking to the camera like it's her friend.
I have a date tonight, and I have no idea what to wear. I am not excited at all. I'm not getting my hopes up. I've been super looking forward to it all week. We totally just met on Tinder. Is this too formal?
I've been watching mostly Ashley and Emma during the pandemic. My sister's like, why are you watching these 2 bitches specifically? And it's because Ashley and Emma do the best job making you feel like they're your best friend. And I think the What to Wear on a First Date really like kind of emulates that. And my other favorite video of hers, it's called Ashley's Day Off. And my favorite movie is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. And the way that she does the video, it's just very like, I'm gonna say it again, film school vibes.
How could I possibly be expected to handle school on a day like this?
I just think it's so well done. I just really, really like how produced and edited it is. That's not like even her best film school vibes video, but it's just like really shows that she's like a talented filmmaker. Well, I'm just engagement now. And my actual favorite video of hers is when she moves to New York City. That shit, I felt like I should have paid for that shit. That shit was so good. Oh my god, I literally like watch that like at night, like drinking wine.
Dude. Yeah. I really love this place. Yeah, me too.
Like her life is just about to get so much worse. Anyways, at the very beginning, right as UCLA's finals were ending, she posts this thrift flip. A couple 100,000 views in the first week that really starts pushing her up in subscribers. By the middle of July, she hits 100K. But then she even does better right after that. 3 videos after she hits 100K, she does the ultimate bedroom makeover where she gets like over 1 million. I'm just saying this, I have no idea. Right now it has 11 million views, but we're just gonna assume that it got like over 1 million views at the time. That summer of 2018, she's just like really coming to age, and I think this is rude to say because I never should comment on a woman's body, but like she also like really glowed up. The summer of 2018, which I think contributed to her gaining subscribers. I feel like the summer of 2018 was like Ashley's like coming of age. Ashley's whole thing is like she's the main character. Ashley truly became the main character in summer of 2018. And at the end of that summer, she does her first like actual collab with Elena, who she's still friends with to this day, and then she also meets David. So because she's fucking best dressed, she realizes she can graduate by only doing 2 quarters of junior year and not even 3, so she just overloads and I think takes like 22 units her winter of 2019. And then in March of 2019, she graduates from college, she hits 1 million,
And she has her most viewed video to date, 50 outfits when you don't know what to wear.
So it turns out this actually came out in February. Like, I knew gays couldn't do math, but it turns out I can't even fucking read.
And I don't really care about her fashion as much, but even watching that video, I was like, how the fuck are you gonna, oh my god, how the fuck are you gonna, like, oh my god, like every single time I was like, this isn't gonna, oh my god, it actually does work. Okay, T. I think just March of 2019 really just represents all the aspects that I love of Best Dressed. She graduated college early because she's like smart as fuck, and bitch like got into Stanford and Columbia, and I was like, oh, thank you, next. She's really good at fashion, does this 50 outfits when you don't know what to wear, and gets like millions and millions of views. And then she hits 1 million fucking subs. She's like, okay, let's fucking go. Like, let's fucking grind. It's just like, everything is just going so fucking great for her. She collabs with this girl named Avery Ovard. Honestly, kind of respect Ashley's glow up a little bit more than Emma's.
Hey, editing me. I kind of ramble on this. I kind of want to just explain myself better. Basically, the only thing I was trying to say, essentially, was I feel like the way Ashley blew up kind of reminds me of, like, old YouTube again, where before everyone, like, collabed and shit, she blew up basically on her own merit by doing her own viral videos, as opposed to someone like Emma or a lot of newer people these days, they blow up by doing a lot of collabs. Emma is definitely the poster child of that, because Emma blew up by like the Sister Squad being friends with David Dobrik, just all of LA YouTube collectively being like, she will be famous now, as opposed to Ashley, who even though she lived in LA, she didn't really do any collabs. She was just really like, her viral videos kind of made her famous, so she got famous on her own talent.
But yeah, so she hits March 2019, so she's 1 million in March 2019, and then she has a mini existential crisis in April 2019, being like, wait, so I'm just, what do I do now? I graduated college, which she kind of talks about in the Red Wine Talk as well, where she's like, wait, what's my next milestone now? Like, I just like went to film school and now I'm a YouTuber, like what the fuck? So you can kind of see that, but I think she's still having a great time. And then in summer of 2019, she just continues blowing up. She hit 1 million in March of 2019. She went from 100K to 1 million in only 8 months. That's like amazing. She went from 1 million to 2 million only in April, June, July, August. Wait, what? She went from 1 million to 2 million in 5 months. She's just doing this all on her own. Like, no collabs, no, like, really, like, into, like, the YouTube sphere. Even though she's in LA, she really is not in that, like, whole social circle. She really reminds me of, like, 2014 kind of YouTube. Actually, well, no, I'll say 2013. Because 2014 YouTube is when they kind of first all came together as a, like, collective social circle. She just is very, like, I was, like, the weird kid who just, like, likes to make videos in my bedroom, which is kind of what YouTube started out as. It gives me a sense of nostalgia that I feel like Ashley So is, like, 2013 YouTube, but then at the same time, she has, like, her film school degree, so it's just like there. So yeah, so then she hits 2 million in August 2019. As with any YouTuber who gets big, here come the scandals. Even with these scandals, I don't think any of these are like really that bad in my opinion. So she had like a mini scandal, but this isn't, I think it's just like people like being stupid. She uploaded this video in September of 2019 on her second channel called A Cringy Look Into How I Vlog, where she kind of looks like a robot malfunctioning.
At first I was gonna get all butthurt about it. At first I was gonna get all butthurt about it and start my own conference.
And everyone's just like, oh my god, like, I thought you were just so, like, real, and, like, now this seems, like, so scripted and stuff, but it's just, like, everyone on YouTube is slightly fake. If I showed you all, like, the raw footage of this, you would see me, like, repeating over my words, like, 100 billion times, so I think it's just, like, Ashley being a perfectionist, so she wants to make sure that the sentence is said, like, as well as possible, but people were just like, oh my god, I loved you, and now, like, you kind of seem more manufactured and stuff, like, this is so annoying. So that's why I'm like, it's not really a scandal, but that's the first time people, like, get, like, really, like, mad at her for being like, why the fuck did you do that? Also, at the same time, people started finding out about her Depop, and her Depop, she would sell merch, so she would get free merch from a bunch of different brands, because that's what happens when you're an influencer, and then she would sell it on Depop, and then people were mad that she was trying to sell it, as opposed to, like, doing a giveaway for her fans, or, like, giving it to, like, her friends or family for free and stuff. But I'm just like, you gotta respect the hustle. She, like, is getting something for free, and then she's selling it, but, like, people got mad at her being like, why are you trying to, like, profit off of, like, all this shit? But it wasn't even, like, that mad, but then people started calling her out for it. She just deleted her Depop, which, like, kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth, like, still to this day. But that's what I'm saying, like, both of these scandals, like, aren't really that much of scandals, just, like, a couple people, like, kind of got mad at her. The Depop scandal kind of shows how she reacts to a lot of things, where she just kind of, like, if there's ever any, like, criticism, she'll just, like, delete it. In November of 2019 is her first, I don't want to call it a scandal, but it's just the first time that she was criticized by, I wouldn't even say a lot, just, like, a good amount of her fans. The like to the like to dislike ratio was still, like, many more likes and dislikes. It wasn't, like, a hugely
a hugely disliked video, she did a collab with Amazon, which is like interesting. I feel like when you're an influencer and you collab with a brand, usually they're like, you can't delete or private the video, but I guess maybe she had a thing with Amazon where she had to do it after 6 months. People were upset with her with the Amazon video because she talks about how
sustainability is something that I'm really passionate about.
And everyone's like, Ashley, if you're really passionate about sustainability, why would you collab with Amazon, which is literally the opposite of sustainability, which completely agree with it, completely makes sense. I cannot imagine how much money she got for that collab because it's Amazon. People kind of called her out for it, and she ended up like deleting comments on the video, and people would call her out on her Instagram as well, and she was deleting her Instagram comments, kind of just deleting the criticism. This part of Ashley kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth because it kind of just seems like whenever there's any sort of criticism or scandal or whatever you want to call it, she just like deletes it or just like doesn't want to acknowledge it at all. Like the Depop thing, she just deleted her account, which like, bitch, you didn't need to do. You selling merch that you get for free isn't necessarily wrong. With the Amazon thing, I understand that if you make an apology video or something, it'll like bring more attention to it, but I don't know, just deleting comments leaves a bad taste in my mouth personally, but I'm like, I don't know her, so maybe if that's what you want to do, that's what you're gonna do. But she just was kind of deleting all criticism of that, I guess. But this is all from like guru gossip and news articles that I read about it. I never saw the actual video, so I can't really give my own personal opinion on it. After that, she moved to New York City in January 2020, but then when she's initially in New York City, she doesn't really go out that much because one, it's winter, and two, she's just like editing. And then the pandemic happens in March of 2020, and she's like, fuck. Because she didn't really enjoy New York City that much when it happened. And at the very beginning of the pandemic, New York City was the absolute epicenter. So she just like spent all of her days crying. And that's why I'm like, damn, honey, you had a big struggle coming. Because she's like, I'm in New York City, like, oh my god, like I'm so excited, like new year, new me, like main character, like let's go. And then like she gets so bad for her. But I feel horrible for her. That sucks. So then after she's done crying in March and April of 2020, and probably still crying in May of 2020, comes her first like actual scandal. I think this is like the biggest and the worst one out of all of them. There is a video uploaded titled, Why Best Dressed is Problematic. Personally, I think calling Best Dressed problematic is a little bit much. There are actual problematic YouTubers, like most of them. Tana, the Pauls, Shane, Jeremiah Starburst, Lorraine, Nikita, just the D'Amelios, like anyone who's partying right now. The video raises some points and has some criticisms of Ashley, which I think some of them are valid, some of them aren't. No one is free of criticism, and some of the things that she says I'll get into in a second, I'm like, no, I can totally see that. But then some of them are just kind of like nitpicking as well. I think saying Why Best Dressed is Problematic was kind of making it like a clickbaity title, because it like, when you watch the video, it kind of seems like, oh, here are some problematic things that Best Dressed does, and not that she's overall problematic as a whole. But after that video, there's kind of like a wave of Best Dressed hate, of all these like kind of not even hate videos, just like criticism videos of Best Dressed that obviously she saw. Literally, when you type in Best Dressed right now, the #1 thing that comes up is problematic. So I'm sure that kind of like started contributing to her declining mental health as well, because the pandemic, things were calming down a little bit. Like in the summer, things calmed down a little bit, and people kind of went outside a little bit more. And it's just like, hey, Ashley, all of YouTube hates you. She already struggles with mental health, so I'm sure that did not help her shit at all. In the Why Best Dressed is Problematic video, she talks about the Amazon video, which I'm like totally agree with. She talks about she has some kind of internalized misogyny because she kind of talks about being a housewife in a degrading way, which I can kind of see. I empathize with her so much because even these scandals and criticism, like I understand because I can see where they're coming from, and I'm just like, oh my god, I would make so many of the same mistakes. I like feel even worse for her. After this whole like wave of hate is coming along her way, which is still like kind of really there. I kind of saw Why Best Dressed is Too Much just posted like a couple weeks ago. She posts a video that I think is beautiful, and I really, really loved it, but she got a lot of hate for it. I think it's one of her most disliked videos. It's called How 2020 Has Me Feeling, where it's very just like artsy, kind of like film school, like ass like bitch. I'm just like, okay, yes, Ashley, I love this. It's just so well done, well manufactured. But people were like, oh my god, she's like romanticizing the pandemic because she's thinking about like, oh, where do I want to like move next? And it's like she like blows out candles in like Central Park and she's not wearing a mask. And after that video, I'm just like, guys, like that, oh god. With the Amazon video and the Best Dressed Problematic and the Depop things, I can kind of see where people are coming from. The romanticizing the pandemic one, I was just like, that was just stupid. But she got so many dislikes on that. I think it was like 200K versus 6,000 dislikes. But I'm still just like, guys, like, oh my god. But she got like a wave of hate after that, and I can tell she worked so hard on that. You can tell after the hate she got in that video that really affected her, and the hate that she'd been getting all of like summer of 2020 had like really been affecting her as well. I kind of want to talk about why the best dressed hate is rooted in sexism, because I feel like society and women themselves, this might be sexist, I'm sorry guys, hold women to a higher standard than men do for the same things. I feel like if it was like a male YouTuber who showed the like how cringy I look like what in vlog, no guys would care, but because it's Ashley, I feel like her majority female fan base would be like, oh my god, like you're so thing, like what the fuck. There was a lot of best dressed hate that entire summer, so many like videos made about her. Lorraine James, don't even like the, what is that like new group called? It's like not the, it's like the 2020 Sister Squad with like Lorraine James and all of them. All of them deserved much more hate than they were getting. They would consistently get called out, but there were no like videos of like why Lorraine is problematic, why James is problematic. But then I can kind of see why it isn't, because they're problematic because they're partying during the pandemic. The video is going to take like 10 seconds. Ashley was getting slightly more hate than because she was a woman than like James and Lorraine were. But it's not just sexism. I also feel like it's because people who let the hate get to them, it can kind of feed into the hate and kind of create more. It's kind of like if you're being bullied and then you give someone a reaction, they kind of bully you more. And I feel like that's kind of the case with Ashley, where it's like Trisha, for example, she is a woman, and or actually no, I think she identify as like a trans man a couple years ago. I don't fucking know. I think right now she identifies as a woman. She'll get hate every 24/7, but like she just doesn't give a fuck, so she'll just like keep going. Tana gets hate 24/7, but like she doesn't give a fuck about the hate, so she just keeps going. Shane, who got a lot of hate, he left YouTube because he let it affect him, and is he coming back? Who knows? I think part of it is rooted in sexism. The how cringy I look when I vlog. I feel like if she was a man, people wouldn't be saying that, but I also feel like it's just because she lets the hate get to her. I'd love to see people's comments and what they think as well, because I want to know where it's the society hating women begins and the letting the hate get to you end.
The disproportionate burden placed on women, and especially enforced between women on the internet to be perfectly ethical and sustainable, as opposed to men, is just another form of sexism.
I feel like society hates women because in society, people like love women for a really long time and just like tear them down. Jennifer Lawrence, at first everyone's like, oh my god, we love her, she's so relatable. And then like a couple months or years later, everyone's like, oh my god, she's so obnoxious. Emma Chamberlain, at first everyone's like, oh my god, like she's so relatable. And then she like turned 17 and then like everyone got mad at her. I'm gonna bring up Emma Chamberlain again. Everyone like loved Anne Hathaway at first, like in the Princess Diaries, and they hated on her for what was everyone's what was everyone's issue with Anne Hathaway? Like I still don't understand to this day. And like I fed into it in 2013. It's like, I hate Anne Hathaway, I hate Anne Hathaway, I hate Anne Hathaway. So after the romanticizing the pandemic video, I feel like she's lost a love for YouTube, which you kind of also saw with Emma in 2019. I feel like Emma has had a kind of a rebirth in 2020 since the pandemic, because she's being more relatable, because now she's just like vlogging in her house doing nothing, which is what every teen girl is doing in America. Why she got big in 2017 is because she was like going to Phil's and like driving around and like getting coffee and stuff, and like made a fake Gucci shirt because she couldn't afford real Gucci. Why she kind of lost some of her core fan base is because she wasn't as relatable once she moved to LA and like went to Fashion Week and stuff, but now she's relatable again and isn't getting as much like hate or criticism, so she's more into YouTube again, which I think is great. Ashley, on the other hand, after the romanticizing the pandemic video, she's already less relatable because she's kind of becoming more of a bigger star. Like, why I guess people loved her in 2017, 2018, and 2019 is because she was very relatable. She was still like a college girl, like going through dating and like all this stuff, and now she's kind of like a celebrity. She isn't as relatable. She's only posted 4 videos since the pandemic video. 30 fall outfit ideas, a slightly meteoric tour of my Animal Crossing island. Here are some things I thrifted in NYC, and her apartment tour. None of these videos she like put that much effort into, I can say myself. These are all like kind of like, I haven't liked any of her past 4 most recent videos because all of them are like kind of boring. Just like, oh, I thrifted these things and like she's kind of funny in it. Here's Animal Crossing Island that was like, I don't play Animal Crossing, so like, it's boring for me. Or she hasn't done any kind of like cinematic-y, like film schooly vibes kind of thing. One thing that is happening is she moved out of her New York City apartment to a different apartment because someone found her address. It could be, oh, she just isn't making as many videos because she's moving right now. Even when she was moving from LA to New York City, she was still churning out content pretty regularly, but she isn't this time. She's doing a lot more Instagram things than YouTube, just because she kind of doesn't have a love for YouTube as much anymore, because I kind of feel like she thinks anything she does or say will be used against her in a court of law. And I feel like it's the same thing with Emma in 2018. In the latter half of 2018, when she started blowing up, when people were like speculating her relationship with Ethan, and she started getting paparazzi'd way more, and like people started getting mad at her for like the merch thing and like a couple of other things. I feel like once you get big, you aren't as relatable, but also you just are more likely to get called out for
a bunch of things that you wouldn't have with a smaller audience. Getting big on YouTube is a double-edged sword because you kind of blow up and get a lot of money, get a lot of followers, like everything's great, but then you're not as relatable and then everyone's watching your every move. So we saw it with Emma in 2019. I'm kind of seeing it with Ashley right now. I hope I'm wrong. I hope that Ashley starts posting more like cinematic-y videos because she really is honestly my favorite YouTuber, or was until the past 4 videos she has posted hasn't been that great. It's currently February 12th. We're a month and a half into 2021 and she hasn't posted 1 video. I hope that she posts a video soon. I can kind of understand why she isn't as into YouTube anymore because she just kind of gets like criticized for a lot of things and she's one of the kinds of people that lets the criticism really get to her. If she was more like Tana and Trisha, she probably would be uploading more videos. I hope Ashley can find her niche and enjoy making content again. I know she is moving right now, and also a lot of YouTubers take January off because that's where you make the least amount of money, but it's now, we're halfway through February and she hasn't posted anything, and she's only posted 4 videos since romanticizing the pandemic thing, so I don't think it's a like, oh, I'm moving and like I'm taking January off. I think she actually like doesn't like YouTube as much anymore, which is sad, but I can kind of see it. I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Please comment down below your like thoughts and opinions. I would love to hear other people's like thoughts and opinions on all of this. This was a very interesting video for me to make. I don't know if I could do this with anyone else because Ashley is one of the only YouTubers that I could watch all of her videos, except maybe Emma. I could do this with Emma too, but Hannah already did Emma. But yeah, comment down below your ideas and I'll see you next time.